Alright, so what we're going to focus on in this section is, given a graph and a graph line, your job is to find the slope. So in order to find slope, we follow this rule, rise over run. So what I mean by rise is when it goes up or down. So typically I start with my points from the left. So if I start from the point on the left right here, now sometimes your graphs, they don't have these points labeled already. So sometimes you would have to pick points. So usually I pick that's like right in the middle of the vertical line and the horizontal line. So as you can see here, it's in the middle. I would pick that as my point. But for today's example, let's use the ones that we already have over here. So I picked the one on the left. Now my rise, I go up and level with the second point. So I'm going to go up 1. Now the reason I'm going to stop at 1 because as you can see it's level. That's where I'm going to stop. Now my rise was 1, so I'm going to put 1 right here. Now my run is when I go from the second point to my first point to my second point. So since I went up here, this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to go to the right 2 times. 1, 2, as you can see. So since I started from the left, which is vertical level with my first point, I moved 2 times to my second point. So I'm going to put 2 here. So that's my run. And then I don't have to simplify because there's none in common. I don't have to worry about signs because as you can see, the graph, as you move from left to right, it starts from the bottom and moving up. So this is a positive slope. Then my slope right here is just 1/2. That's our slope. And I'm going to box this. So that's how you would find slope from this given graph for example 1. Alright, in our third example we have this graph here. I'm going to start with our left point. So first method, I'm going to choose to go down. So I'm going to go down and stop until I'm level with the second point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm on level with the second point. So I went down 5 times. So I'm going to put for the rise -5. And then starting where I stopped, I'm going to go to the right to the second point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put 4 for run. Now this one, I don't have to simplify because there's none in common between 5 and 4. So for our slope, it will be -5 over 4. Now, following from the second example, say I started with the run first. So I'm going to go to the right until I am vertical level with the second point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm vertical level with my second point. So I'm going to put my run first, which is 4. Then, starting from where I stopped, I'm going to go down until I hit the second point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5, so it's going to be -5. And then again, I can't simplify because there's none common between 5 and 4. So when I simplify, it's just be -5 over 4. And then that's our slope. So as you can see, whichever you start first, you're going to end up with the same slope, -5 over 4. Same thing right here, same slope, -5 over 4. So again, doesn't matter if you go down first or you go right first, starting from my leftmost point, you're going to end up with the same. You're going to stop at the second point, and at the end you're going to end with the same slope. In our second example, we have this graph. So we're going to start from the point from the furthest left. So here's my point. Now, unlike the first example, we did it one way, so what we can do, I'll show you two separate methods when trying to find slope. Now, since I'm starting with my furthest left, I want to go down 2 times to be level with my second point. So 1, 2. So my rise will be, since I went down, it's going to be -2. And then I'm going to go to our second point doing our run. So 1, and to do that in red. So 1, 2. So I went to the right 2 times. So +2. Now this one, -2 divided by 2, you can simplify that. That would be -1. Now, let's talk about the second method. Alright, so let me write out the rule. Rise over run So it doesn't matter what order you start as long as you line them up correctly. So again, I'm going to start from my furthest left point. So if I want to be a vertical level with my second point, I'm going to go to the right 2 times. 1, 2. So that's 2 for my run, so I'm going to put 2 on the bottom first. And then, starting from where I stop, I'm going to go down 2 times, as you can see. Since I went down 2 times, I'll put -2 up here. And then we can simplify that. -2 divided by 2 will be -1. So m, I'm going to write right here, m equals -1. So that's our slope. So, as you can see, if you were to go down first and then right, you end up with -1. Well, -2 over 2, which is simplified to -1. Or you could go to the right first and then down, which you end up with also -2 over 2, simplified to -1. So it's the same slope. Doesn't matter which order you do first, as long as you follow it correctly at the end.